Good evening, everyone. I'm your host of Daily Battles, Billy Neely, and welcome to Daily Battles. Daily Battles is going to be the untold stories of heroes and warriors that are overcoming PTSD. This podcast is dedicated to exploring the lives and journeys of those who have faced the silent battles of PTSD. And in this podcast, we're going to delve into the personal stories of the individuals who have navigated the challenges of PTSD, and most importantly, without the aid of professional treatment and shining on the light of resilience and strength that it takes to comfort the invisible enemy of PTSD. Um, those of y'all that are watching, this is I can't even remember how many episodes it is, but it's been amazing to be the host of this and to be able to have veterans and heroes on here and really just let every one of them tell their stories about what their life has been and what they've went through, and most definitely the things that have took place with a PTSD situation. As we see in all these episodes, every one of the individuals, they have their story. They have their story of what took place, and they nail it and tell you exactly what has took place, but also how it has affected their lives and affected their families' lives. And I want y'all to take note of that, because the last episode prior to this one, we went into something very, very important of how you approach us and things of that nature. And just, with veterans, please make sure that you know and understand that we have trigger warnings. We have things that spark our PTSD, and we have things that will light our minds up. And when I say light our minds up, put us in that dark place. When that takes place and happens, it could be something to where we just fade off from society for a few days and try to recuperate, or we lose all of our senses right then and there. So as a safety warning, again, please pay attention to when you approach somebody with PTSD, most definitely veterans, but also some of your public safety officials as well. So in all of our episodes, we've had a wide spectrum of individuals, from a nurse to police officers to military individuals. With all of this, I want to put a challenge out to a few branches, because y'all are coming short as far as getting on here. But as of right now, the United States Army, we are leading the podcast episodes. I've had more guests that are in the United States Army, and in the United States Marine Corps, we're going on too. As far as the other branches, hey brothers, y'all are slacking. So what I'm saying is I'd love to host a few of you individuals. So tonight's guest, definitely a United States Army veteran. During his time in the military, naturally, he has a story, but the things that he has done to overcome and face the challenges of PTSD is almost quite similar to one of the things that I did. Pro wrestling has been a part of my life and will always be a part of my life, because that is what helped me overcome a lot of obstacles in life as a kid and even as an adult. But our guest tonight, he's going to tell his story. And as being a pro wrestler, he's going to tell his story on what he does to support veterans, and also what he does to overcome his obstacles of PTSD. So without further ado, our guest tonight, my guest, is Nick Quinones, correct?
Quinones.
Quinones.
Yep.
Sorry, I slack in the Hispanic dialect, brother.
No, it's okay. Trust me. I've dealt with it my whole life. Even in the Army, people just called me Q, and I kept it moving.
That's, as a senior NCO in the Army, yeah, I wouldn't even attempt to say it. I'd probably say, hey, Private Q, get over here.
Yep, that's how it always was.
Yeah. Oh, well, brother, I love the shirt, man.
Thank you.
I love it. Definitely. I think it might be on topic for what we're talking about.
It is, and this is I even wore this shirt out like to the ring a couple times.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure.
I did one actually this last month. Yeah, the end of June I did a show when I came out with it.
Awesome. So start all these episodes is, you as our guest. Naturally, a lot of people don't know who you are. So tell the world where Nick was born and raised.
Well, I was born in Manhattan, New York, but I was raised in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Tough life there, man.
That-
You being in the South now, I'm pretty sure you would agree with that, correct?
oh yeah, it's different out here.
Yeah,
It's
yes.
way.
And you graduated school up there
Yeah, I
from
did.
Atlanta?
I graduated high school. I did some college, but I never completed college.
Okay. And in high school, you play any sports?
I was playing. I played soccer all 4 years, and I did baseball all 4 years.
Well, with your ethnicity, both of them are two power sports for the Hispanic community, man.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Wanted
And,
to play football, but that school didn't have football, so I just went to soccer.
I've actually never heard of that, man. But then again, up north, I don't think the northern states produce football.
Not that much, no.
Yeah,
Only
nothing like
only
this here in the
a
South.
lot of the public schools there, but for high school, I went to a Catholic high school, so I just did soccer and baseball. They didn't have football.
Okay. So when you graduated high school, you said you went to college. Where'd you go, brother?
Yeah, I went to Jersey City Community College, I think it's called. I don't even remember what the college is called anymore. But I was only there for about like a year and a half before I enlisted.
Just focusing on academics, or did you play any sports while you were there?
No, I was focusing on academics.
Okay, good. So after your college time, is that when you decided to go in the military?
Yeah, like partially through it. I was in my sophomore year, and then I wasn't really attending a lot of the classes, so I was like failing out kind of and trickling with the wrong crowd. So that's why I just ended up enlisting.
So what made you decide to join the Army, brother?
It was a spur of the moment, honestly.
Really?
It was spur of the moment. It was weird because the recruiter actually called my house after like I had just had an argument with my mother. The next thing I know, the recruiter called, and then I was like, you know what? Yes, because I was already thinking like I need to get out of here.
Okay.
So it was literally a spur of the moment.
And when you joined the Army, the MOS that you wanted, is that something that you got?
So when I went through everything and I did the ASVAB, I never really knew exactly what I wanted to do until they started. When they checked the score, I'm not 100% sure what my score was, but it was around like the 110, between 110 120 because it opened up for me to do. I became a 13 Delta, which is a field artillery tactical data system specialist. Plus, I had to have security clearance for it. So it put me to where I was able to get decent job. I think there was a few other jobs I could have got. Like I think one of them was Intel, but I didn't. I for some reason I just went with the artillery. I think because the recruiter was like, "You don't do anything unless you're out in the field." So I was like, "Oh, I'll do that."
There you go. You know, with me, I started my military career with a technical MOS. I started out as a nuclear weapons specialist.
Oh.
And then, I changed worlds and flipped it big time, and I went infantry.
Yeah.
And, I had a lot of people question me why, but, first off, the nuclear weapons MOS, it was actually disbanded while I was in AIT. So, I had to jump around trying to figure out what MOS I wanted. And, in order to maintain my bonus and maintain my school and duty station of choice, I said, I'll take the next lower MOS. So I ended up being an ammo tech.
Oh, wow.
And then, immediately after AIT, I went straight to the box, man. Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And, and believe it or not, man, I fell in love with the infantry world and was able to not even cross train over because they tasked me out as a door gunner. So I was able to become 11 Bravo immediately after that, man, and I loved it and stayed with it the rest of my career.
Hey, that's good.
So where'd you do basic at, man?
Fort Sill.
Fort Sill.
Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
And you did not get that blue cord and death, did you?
I did just nothing, and literally I did basic and AIT there because Fort Sill, I think, is the only AIT field artillery base.
For most of your combat arms, MOS is Fort Sill, and has always been one of the two. It was either Fort Sill or Fort Benning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after basic and AIT, where was your first duty station?
My first and only duty station was Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Wow. So how was that change of I guess you could say lifestyle, man?
It was different because it was weird in Oklahoma because I had to get used to all that. And obviously, basic, we didn't go out anywhere. But AIT is when we got to expand out and go out on the weekends. And that was like, where am I? I'm in the middle of nowhere. And then, but when I got to Fort Stewart again, I was like, okay, now I'm in the middle of nowhere, but at least there's trees.
Yeah, yeah.
But it got some getting used to because it was just be quiet at night, and I was never used to that.
Well, I mean, you're almost in the country,
But
so
pretty much that was country.
Yeah,
the closest city was Savannah.
Yeah, yeah. I got some good stories about times in Savannah. Probably some of them incriminate me. So, what was the nickname of the mosquitoes at Fort Stewart, man?
Oh shit!
So us, when we would come into Fort Stewart and train, we nicknamed them the bird that would pick you up and drag you out in the woods and rape you. Because I'm pretty sure you agree with me.
I've heard that a few times, but yes, them shits is huge.
I saw mosquitoes as big as damn dragonflies there.
Them shits, yeah.
Yeah. They were horrible. So with that, and I'm gonna fast forward after your military time, and then we'll get back into your time in service with deployments and stuff. What made you want to be a pro wrestler, brother?
I guess you could say I always did because I grew up watching. I feel like a lot of us in wrestling we grew up watching it as kids, and then there was a few times, like even before I joined the Army, I've looked at a few schools up in Jersey. But then I didn't get into it until 2 years after I was medically released from the Army. Okay. Then I started looking it up, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna take this shot. I was like 25, I think, at the time. So I was like, I'm gonna just try my luck.
So who was your idol, man, as a kid growing up?
As a kid, it was always Macho Man, Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
And that was it when I was a kid. Because Rey Mysterio caught my eye because when I watched his work in WCW, I was like, is this actually a little kid?
Hey, yeah.
Because he looked like a little kid. I was like, what the hell? That caught me. But
when he run the ropes, man, he'd hit the middle rope instead of the top rope. Yeah. So me, man, it was most definitely Hulk Hogan. And rest in peace, brother.
Yes.
But Junkyard Dog, man.
Junkyard Dog.
JYD all day long, and then being from the South, Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Okay.
Man, we would hit the fairground arena here in Alabama and Birmingham, and then also Boutwell Auditorium. And dude, JYD and Bullet Bob Armstrong, they ran the shows, man. And as a kid. And I'm pretty sure you remember it, man. They hit that song, and you're.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You get that excitement. Your own adrenaline's pumping. Just because you're happy.
That's it, man. And those of y'all watching, just a few weeks ago, Hulk Hogan passed away, and that's an icon to the pro wrestling world. That man started so many things and carried the sport in so many aspects.
He's the one that brought it into the limelight, really.
It is, and I Me, I was at work in Texas when I found out, and believe it or not, man, my eyeballs got wet, and that was the only worker that I never got a chance to work with or even be on a show with, and that was my last bucket list item in life.
I bet.
Yeah. So stopping from your pro wrestling time, we're going to go back into your Army time and everything. How long were you in the Army before you deployed?
So this is a quick time frame. January, I enlisted. I went to basic training. Obviously, I stood in Fort Sill the whole time, so I was done with basic AIT about June.
Right.
July, I was at Fort Stewart. That January, I was deployed to Iraq.
Hey, quick. Hey, same thing like with me. I didn't even get to a duty station.
There's been a few people I met a few like that.
Yeah, dude. AIT, which we knew things were brewing up overseas and all of that with Desert Shield and Desert Storm, but on the news there was just a few things being out that the president was sending troops over there, and we finished up with AIT, and everybody in the MOS that I chose, they gave us a 5-day pass, and so we had no clue, and my AIT was at Redstone Arsenal, which is in Alabama. Okay. My family lived not even 2 hours away, so I was like, you know what, 5 days, I'm going home. I'm gonna hang out and wear my uniform and all that stuff, man. Be the superstar. And bro, I come back on post, man, and as soon as I come through the gates, the MP, they escorted me back to the unit, and I was on lockdown until I got on that airplane and flew out to Fort Bragg.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So with your experience in basic training, I love asking veterans this: when you experienced that shark attack, what was it like?
It was a shock. It was nothing I really experienced before. Like, mind you, where I grew up, like if you end up on the wrong side of town, it's like a shark attack. People come at you,
right?
But that was just completely different because you didn't even. I feel like some of the buses didn't even fully stop, and then all of a sudden there was a drill sergeant on the bus. Like they opened the doors and they would jump down as they were driving. I was like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Oh yeah, so and with that being said, I forgot to ask you what time frame and year did you go to basic training?
I went in 2006.
Okay, yeah. I'm cattle car days. As in, I don't think I ever got to ride on a bus until I was stationed in Germany. Yeah. Dude, when that cattle car stopped, man, them back doors and side doors opened up. It was shark attack from hell.
Oh yeah, we used the cattle cars whenever we were like going from, and during basic training we used the cattle cars going around the base to do the different training scenarios. I feel like sometimes they just drove us around for a couple hours just for the hell of it.
Dude, you lucky dogs, man. I went to Fort Leonard Wood, and the only time we got on a cattle car is when we got sent to our unit. Other than that, it was your boots.
Mm-hmm.
And we marched even out to the range and bivouac and all of that, man. Let's put some boots on the ground.
Oh yeah.
All right. So your deployment overseas, where did you go to, man?
Ramadi, Iraq.
Okay. And what unit division you were assigned to?
So I was with the 3rd Infantry Division, 1st Battalion, 41st Field Artillery Regiment. Okay.
And then with your time overseas in combat and stuff, what I tell you guys as far as guests and everything is go into some of the stories about what took place, and then most naturally your PTSD situations and stuff, man.
Well, so when we went out there, we We were told that we were in a non-artillery zone. So we had to, before that, we started training infantry. And
Okay.
mind you, you train infantry basic, but now we had to train more in depth because
Right.
we had to train as QRF. We had to also train. So when we went out there, we were the task of starting continuing the JCCs as well as training the Iraqi police.
Okay.
So right there, first off, that was already a difficult task trying to train those knuckleheads.
Oh man, just you think the language barrier in the military is bad? Dude, dealing with the Iraqis, man. I did a contractor deployment, and it was horrible with those zipper heads.
Now, don't get me wrong. I've met a few of them that have like good heads on their shoulders.
Yeah.
And some of them went through because the ones that we were training, a lot of them were just coming. It was like they were fresh coming into technically the academy, kind of.
Okay, good.
So we were training them from the start. But it was hard too because we were starting with the background checks and everything. So, and a lot of them were like, "Oh, but he's my friend." But look, this is background check. This is this. Like he can't. And like it became a real big issue a lot of times.
Oh, for sure.
Unfortunately, we had to do that also off base.
Yeah.
So we was miles within the city. We was living with the Iraqis off base in the middle of the cities.
Okay.
In the police stations. And these police stations aren't like our police stations.
Oh no. You can find
There's
a little small
doors.
shack.
There's no doors going to the outside. The doors that are inside are all broken, and we've always had somebody. We had two people up in the CQ on the top floor, and then all the soldiers were in one room, and we always had one person awake at all times.
Yeah. So, and with that, the Iraqi police were y'all housed in the same barracks?
Yes.
Together.
We were in one room, and they had I want to say it was like two other rooms, and then like the sergeants and lieutenants had a room to themselves.
Okay. So, and with that, were you involved in any engagements or anything like that over in Iraq?
Not so much. There was a lot of close calls. Like around the base, there was obviously a few V-bits went off.
Right.
One of our platoons actually was able to stop right at their checkpoint. They were able to stop. I think it was a dump. It was a dump truck full of chlorine.
Oh wow.
The Iraqi police that they were training there, they caught it like just in time.
Good.
The weird thing is too, we drove past on a bridge. We all drove past like I think minutes passing a truck that ended up blowing up on the bridge. There was more close calls. We did have when we was checking out the Iraqi police station that I stood at. When we first went out there, we received sniper fire.
Okay.
Because there was reports of two snipers around, one of them being from Russia. It was like they were telling us that there were top snipers from over there. I guess that are on the watch list.
Okay.
And one of them was in our area. So we started receiving sniper fire, but I don't recall if they were able to catch the person or whatnot.
Well, that's those of y'all that are watching and listening, where he's getting at with that right there, that is a what we would refer to as a pucker factor, because you got a guy that poses a major threat to you and all your comrades, and you have no damn clue where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know the movie American Sniper and the distances that the snipers are capable of. of shooting shot, you would probably hear the crack of the bullet exiting your body before you would even hear it cracking out of the weapon that fired it itself. And definitely, I know that I've been around some sniper fire, man, and it's a different beast because when you're in a true engagement with people in front of you, you at least see what the hell's coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
These snipers, they're taking you out one at a time, man, and it's a scary situation for sure. So anything special you want to talk about deployment and stuff as far as stories, scenarios, situations, anything like that, or funny ass story?
So deployment, I've done so many different things on deployment. Like obviously we're training the Iraqi police, so we also have to train them doing checkpoints. So we had to go out. We had different checkpoints, obviously, around that city because at that time Ramadi was considered the worst city in the world.
Right.
And so we're out there. We're like, all right, we're in the worst city of the world, and we're in the middle of town. And I'm talking about you got buildings that aren't occupied because of what happened during Desert Storm. So all these buildings, I felt like everything was trashed, and obviously they don't have the money to build everything up. So we're sitting at these checkpoints while mainly the sergeants and lieutenants are training with the Iraqi police, training them or whatever. And then I was one of the gunners.
Okay.
So I was sitting in the gunner with the driver, and you have to surveil. So we're all at different points surveilling, and it's nerve-wracking because you're sitting there watching all these civilians walk past. You're pretty much unprotected because you're in a Humvee. You don't know they know obviously the stories of all these kids that come up candy all the damn time, and if you don't have candy, they're throwing something at you.
Yeah.
They're really there, and I've had a few that don't have candy. They pulled out AK, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
I think that's why the damn military invented those charms candies is to give to those kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they did pose a threat because some of them were a little wild and they'll start pulling triggers. Yeah, and it's like, what are you doing for candy?
It's a sad world, brother.
It is.
Yeah. So with being a gunner, what type of weapon did you utilize? 240?
Honestly, so it depends on who was the lead of my Humvee.
Okay.
So it would either be the 240 or the holy shit, I had it in my head.
Mark 19?
Yes.
Okay. So those of y'all that don't know what those are, a 240, it's a belt-fed a machine gun. Mm-hmm. It's a 5.56, and I can't remember the sustained rate of fire with it, but you know when it's coming at you.
Yeah.
And then those of y'all that watched the last episode, Ben was talking about, he was a gunner as well, and his favorite gun was the Mark 19. Mm-hmm. For you, what was your favorite, assault weapon?
It was definitely the Mark 19.
That's destruction, man.
Mm-hmm. I felt honestly, whenever I did have it, I felt safe in the gunner's hedge.
Well,
I feel like a little bit safer.
So the Mark 19, it came out during the mid time of my career. So really, we got to utilize it in a deployment. But as far as myself, I never got to utilize it to actually see the true effects on how it would mentally affect the enemies and stuff. But listening to service members like yourself, the enemy knows what a Mark 19 looks like. That is just like AK-47. It has a distinctive sound when it puts that round out. So I kind of would have liked to have utilized it just to have that all hell yeah factor. But then again, I'm glad that I didn't, man. I was in 60 days for me. The saw came
60s.
Yeah, the saw came out towards the end of my career, but it wasn't a weapon that was in our TO&E or our load as far as what we utilized.
Yeah.
But however, we had those miniguns on the side of the bird that there's no discrimination with them babies at all.
I wish I got to use use one of them.
Yeah. So coming out of the military, medical discharge. Was it a physical discharge or just?
So what actually retired me was asthma.
Okay.
And then they added I had a bulging disc as well.
All right.
But they denied me anything that had to do with depression or PTSD or anything like that.
Oh no. They're not going to admit to that one bit.
Especially at that time in 2010, they weren't.
No. I mean, because brother, PTSD, it was more for the veterans that lost their shit, that would do something stupid. And so it's like society these days. If there's a mass shooting that takes place, they automatically call it M4 machine gun.
Yeah.
And that's the way PTSD was. Is this guy was sick, and they were almost trying to label PTSD as how it affected Vietnam veterans. And it's so false. And that's some of the purposes of this podcast as well, is for the viewers to know and understand that PTSD can come in so many forms and fashions, that the way that I suffer with it, you and which, sorry, my camera, you, Nick, it affects you in so many different ways as well.
Yeah.
So with that being said, after you got out of the military, what was your thoughts? Say 6 weeks after you got out of the military, what was your thoughts about life then?
I didn't want to do shit. Honestly, when I got out, I was trying to play catch up.
Okay.
Because it was like 4.5 years that I was gone, really. And obviously I would come home on leave every so often, but it's different when you're finally back.
Oh,
and
for
now
sure.
You're trying to play catch up. At first, everyone pretty much wants to hang out with you or whatever, but then as the time moves on, I'm trying to figure myself out what I'm going to do while everyone else is continuing with their lives.
Well, it's I guess you'd probably say you're starting over, because there is no artillery positions in the civilian world. There's no infantry positions in the civilian world as well. So, for me, I was actually fortunate enough. I went straight into law enforcement, and because that was the only career field toting a gun.
See, I thought of it because they even the NYPD did the police test in Fort Stewart would be like a little before I left, and actually it was actually long before that, because it was before everyone left on deployment, because I stood back on redetachment because I was getting out.
Right.
But it was before that, and they started taking the test, and even my section chief was like, "Yo, take the test," and I was just like, "I don't want to be a cop."
That's not a place to be a cop at. And any of y'all brothers and sisters that are watching New York, my hat off to you for sure, because I don't think I would have survived in law enforcement there. Not
it's
one
different.
Yeah. I'm so glad that I went into law enforcement here in Alabama, because we still have our Southern values and standards. And every now and then it was okay to utilize this. Up north, can't do it.
No.
And so, when you got out of the military, did you settle up in that area up north?
Yeah, I went back. I was staying with my mom's for a little bit, and then I ended up getting my own place. And I started going to school at the same time again, because now I was using the GI Bill.
Gotcha. So how long were you out before you decided pro wrestling was going to be your avenue approach, man?
2 years. Yeah, I was out 2 years, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna finally just take the step. Before I kept looking at it, even throughout those 2 years, I kept looking at places, but then it's like I was getting influenced by friends to do something different because I was still also trying to find myself.
Okay.
So I was I was all over the place, but not really thinking for myself.
Right.
And that's what it took a long while to even try to do that.
So what made you move down to Florida, man? Was it wrestling?
Actually, no, because my wrestling journey started and stopped in 2012.
Okay.
I started training, and then that's when that's when the PTSD started kicking in after a couple months, because I started training. My oldest son was born at that time, and then it was just life stuff kept hitting. I ended up stopped going to school, and just things just kept trickling, and then I feel like that's when like the depression started, because probably everything just caught up on one time. It's like, oh shit, now I really gotta go.
Yeah.
And then so from Jersey we moved to Pennsylvania first in 2014. Yeah, 2014. We moved to Pennsylvania because my wife was pregnant with my second son.
Okay.
And a few months there, I attempted to start wrestling again. Because I ended up I was working security, and randomly working as security in the CVS, there was a guy that worked in the CVS that was a wrestler.
Okay.
So, hey, we started talking. He was like, hey, I trained at this school. You should just start coming. I'm like, oh, well, might as well. I started to train again a little bit, but then it was still a lot happening. And that's when I started trying to file for PTSD. But
Gotcha.
even the VA in Pennsylvania was he marked me down as depression, and that was it.
Oh, yeah.
Try to give me depression medications or whatever. He's like, oh, you're just depressed. I'm like, whatever. And then we moved down here to Florida in 2016. At the time, it was cheaper. It was a lot cheaper out here. It kind of still is, but like Orlando's almost at New York prices pretty much now. But it was a lot cheaper when we moved out here. And,
yeah, dude. The cost of living in Orlando is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why,
the other day, man, I go to Orlando every year to work, and the price of gas, man, is usually 75 cents, if not $1 higher than here in Alabama.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's like 3 something right now in certain places.
Yeah, it's 2.53 the other day when I filled up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be around like 318, 320.
So wrestling, when did it go full speed for you, and you actually started getting in the ring and working matches?
2020.
Okay.
So I started training. Pandemic hit.
Yeah.
But I kept at it because I told myself even beforehand, I was like, I played baseball. This is strike 3. If I don't fulfill it, strike 3. Like, I'm not gonna attempt this again.
And are you on a lot of shows just in the Florida vicinity, or are you traveling out of state quite a bit?
So I've been mainly Florida. I did do Puerto Rico once in 2023. I did Puerto Rico. Before that, I did South Carolina 2 times, and I did Georgia a couple times. But that's about it. And then now I'll be in Mississippi coming next month, September.
Man, you're gonna deal with some country asses there. Country. Got any good funny stories with your time in wrestling?
Funny stories?
Yeah. Or I tell you, I'll start off with one and see if you can match it, man. So everybody watching, if you know anything about wrestling, you know who the Iron Sheik is.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Sheik, I mean, definitely him and my idol, Hulk Hogan, they battled it out for years, and which was to us the perfect angle. And those of y'all that don't know, Iron Sheik was actually an Olympic wrestler too. So after the Sheik, got into his days where he couldn't wrestle anymore, he did a lot of appearances as a manager and just autograph sessions and stuff like that. And I can't remember the time frame. I want to say it's in the maybe late. No, it was the early 2000s because I was in law enforcement, and I would work two gimmicks at the show. My regular gimmick being the nasty critters, and then naturally the Russian assassin. And it was a great gimmick because the patriotism in the South, man. We run strong and hard with it. And I just come out as a Russian and mumble and say some crazy shit and it'd piss them off. Bring out my Russian flag and tell them it was in the contract to everybody had to stand up and salute the flag during the Russian national anthem, which was perfect. Mm-hmm. So we're in the dressing room getting ready, and the Iron Sheik, he's coming in to be my manager for the night. And Iron Sheik walks up and, with his Iranian accent, hey, brother, where I can get some weed? And I said, hey, brother, don't ask me that. He said, no, it's cool. I said, no, don't ask me that. He said, no, it's fine. It's okay. I said, no, it's not okay because I'm a cop. And he started laughing. He goes, oh, no, I'm just fucking with you, buddy. And so somebody told the Sheik that if he went outside the building and saw my father in coveralls out there, more than likely Daddy was around the corner smoking him a joint. And which,
really?
I was officer, and I understood why my father smoked weed. It was for pain compliance.
Yeah.
And believe me, I wish I could do it now, but unfortunately, I work a job where I can't. But he comes back in and he goes, hey, brother, were you fucking with me? I said, what do you mean? He goes, they tell me to go see your father, and that's some of the best weed I've ever had. And I was like, Sheik, don't tell me that. I'm about to take a shower and go on duty. and he comes back and he had that big old hernia sticking out. And he goes, oh, brother, I'm still fucking with you.
He said I'm still fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that was definitely one of my funnier stories in the wrestling world, man. And then I know that you talked with Scott, man. Scott could tell you a bunch of stories about me and my brother ribbing him.
Really?
Oh yeah, yes. Scott was gullible, man. Easy to get. So who's the biggest superstar that you worked with, man?
Worked with in the ring?
Yeah.
I would say, so it's weird because if you talk modern, there was only a battle royal, but I was in there with AJ Francis.
Okay.
I had him. He was one of the ones that eliminated me from the match. But otherwise, that's singles wise. I wrestled Tony DeVito from Carnage Crew, and also the Baldies. And I've also wrestled the Tokyo Monster Kahagas, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Actually, the only Triple Crown NWA champion.
Those are too good. Good legends to work with, and you probably learned a lot of stuff and knowledge with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In our talks the other day, you let me know with your coping skills and things like that with PTSD. Let everybody know that's watching how the pro wrestling helps you with all of that stuff.
So with pro wrestling, and it helps me with PTSD for the fact that I don't like the days of the show, maybe the day or two leading up to it. Like you would think everything's stressful, and granted, everything is stressful, but that's the only thing you're focused on. You're focused on is this ready, that ready, this ready, that ready, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, what time is it? How long is this drive? Is this, that? You gotta get there at a certain time. Is this ready? This. All right, what we doing? Blah, blah, blah. All right. And then afterwards, and then you're finally like even like my drives back, I'm thinking of everything that day, mainly the match. I'm thinking about what happened in the match, what could be better, what could I could take out, what could this, what could that, and then keep it moving.
Okay,
And even when I'm in my deepest thoughts and I go wrestle, I guess sometimes you could also tell because I'll take more of a beating
makes sense.
because I want. It's weird. Like I'll take in that pain to help me cope.
No, and I did the same thing, man. As you know, those of y'all watching probably don't know a lot of the terminology, but I would take the heat.
Mm-hmm.
I would get on the ground and let them stomp me, punch me, pick me up, throw me, and just do that because it was a venting thing for me. Because when I came back, all of that burst of energy and adrenaline actually pushed me out of that stressful dark side.
Yeah.
But then again, there were times that I needed to beat the hell out of somebody. The promoter put somebody in the ring with me that's green.
Oh.
And you know, naturally they say why. It's like because I'm going to welcome them to the wrestling world.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't give them a check to cash, but I let them know that they didn't want to come back for that check.
See, I haven't had that. Like I haven't done that, but I'll sit there and most of my matches, it depends. Some of them I'll know who I'm facing a month or two down the line. It depends on how frequent the shows are. Right. And depending on who I'm working, I can sit there by, oh, we could go at it at this show.
Yeah.
Because there's only certain people that you could really be snug with. Or you could be that partially stiff with that they're like, oh, I like this. Let's go.
Oh yeah. And I had my fair share of buddies like that too, man. We'd get in there and you know what? I had a hell of a week. Let's go at it. Let's give them 15 minutes.
And they're like, okay, let's go.
That's it, man. So how's your kids react to you being a wrestler?
It's weird because they let's say they hate the long hours,
right?
Because obviously they'll go with me to call time and they'll sit around like they hate the waiting. But when I'm out there, they'll sit there, they'll tune in, they'll watch, and I'll ask sometimes like what's their favorite part, like what was their favorite thing or what was their favorite part, whatever. But there was like other times, but there was other times it felt weird because there was times like my kids would be like, "Why do you keep losing?" And it's like, and I try to tell them like this is part of a story or it's part of this like, but to them it's like I come to cheer you to see you win, but it's different because then they really don't get the concept or they don't get what we're trying to do and the stories and stuff.
I agree with you. You know, my kids did the same thing as well, but I think in the end, wrestling is actually my kids watching me, going to the shows, being involved in it. That's helped them develop in life.
Really?
Yeah, because if you look at it, brother, in wrestling, there's a structure in it.
There is.
There's a camaraderie,
and
there's you got to pay your dues. Once you earn that veteran status, until then, you're breaking the ring down. You're setting the ring up. You're cleaning up.
And even past that, even when you're a veteran, you're still pretty much doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Not as much or not as hard, but you're still gonna lend a helping hand. I know a lot of veterans that lend a helping hand still.
Absolutely, and with my kids growing up around wrestling, and when I started promoting shows, my kids, they were all about it. Daddy, I want to be there. They would help set up the table at the door. They would, as we're setting up the ring, they bring the aprons. They get up there. Once we break the ring in, they get up in there and start wrestling. And to me as a father, watching my youngest two boys get involved in a show, it was amazing. because to them it's real, even though they were younger teenagers. And in the show they got involved in is we were at a high school, and the school left their old mascot uniforms on the stage. And so I come up with wild ideas, hey, we're going to bring this one heel out that hates masks. And we're going to get him confronted by every worker in the dressing room with masks. And these two mascots in the school that are supporting the school are up there. And he super kicked one of them.
Oh, my God.
My son took a perfect bump, sold it. And then he spins around, and the other son, Goldberg, spears him.
Really?
And when he got back to the dressing room, he said, "Does your son know that it's a work?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "That fucking hurt." But for a grown man to get speared, by 13, 14-year-old boy, I was like, "That's my boy."
Oh no, so, my kids, my youngest son, he's now like the last show, he was working the merch table. He wanted to make some money, so he was working the merch table.
No, I mean my last days of wrestling, man. My stepdaughter and my wife, they only saw videos of me wrestling, and that's the only reason why I went back into wrestling, is just to let them see what my passion was. But I tell her, you bring stuff there and sell it, that's your money that you're making.
Yep.
And bro, she loved it to death. So we haven't approached this. So King of Battle, why is that your name, brother?
So the King of Battle, as you should know, is the nickname of field artillery.
Yeah.
And I adapted it as my moniker, being that I've worked and only worked as field artillery.
The King of Battle, follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And I noticed in your pictures and everything on your trunks and all of that, you got military logos on there, correct?
So on I would say it was my first official made gear. I had the camel pants, and I had on one side the 3rd Infantry broken television.
Yeah.
And the other side I have the 1st Battalion 41st Field Artillery logo, and then on the back I had the American flag, but all white, because white is distress.
There you go.
I had the flag facing the other way because we was at war. And I had the teal blue line for PTSD.
Right.
And in resemblance of this country is at war and in distress with PTSD.
Awesome. So we're in our moments of ending the episode for the night. And you as a guest, I love letting you guys speak out to the world that is watching right now of your advice to them if they're suffering with PTSD, going through that bad time in life, shit's hit the fan, all down. What has Nick got some advice for them to tell them on how to deal with it?
So my advice, something that helped me, I've came up with, at first it was supposed to be a moniker for me, because I would play the video games of wrestling, and I would make a character, it was a nickname beforehand too, Blaze. And then eventually I made the character named Blaze the Future. And I just kept saying, I'm going to be a wrestler. Might be my name. So I just kept Blaze the Future, Blaze the Future. But then Blaze the Future became more than just that. It became a meaning and more of a model. Because I took it as, and I haven't really used it lately, but I've used it even before when I was getting into wrestling. And I was telling people to go out there and blaze the future, meaning that no matter what you're going through, what's happening in your life, what you're doing, there's one path. There's always a path that you could walk. And pretty much light that son of a bitch on fire, burn down. What the fuck? Random book. Burn down. Burn down whatever obstacles in your path and that future. Burn that future down and reshape it in your own image. That is, and use that as your path. That's your path. Go out there and blaze the future. Change the future for yourself and reshape it.
Bro, that's powerful right there, man. I go ahead and tell you that is the best advice that I've heard on here. Because you're absolutely right. We have the ability to change our future.
We do.
And we should, even though we're going to dwell on our past, we're going to let that affect us. Phrase that we used in the military: suck it up and drive on.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what you're saying is stop, go, knock it out.
Yep. Knock that tunnel vision. Do that tunnel vision. That's your path, and do it.
Well, brother, again, definitely very, very good story. I love talking with my fellow veterans and naturally my brothers in the ring. And again, man, that's great words of advice. And I'm gonna steal that from you. As we say in the rest of the world, I'm gonna steal that shit.
I knew it. I gotta copyright it now.
There you go. There you go, man. But it's definitely, y'all watching, blaze your future. Nick has got it right. Nick, your family, tell them me and everybody with Daily Battles said thank you for the sacrifices that they have dealt with during your time of all of this. They've endured a lot of the problems as well as you, and they're your driving force. They're the ones that have motivated you to be the man that you are today and be the man that is sitting here talking to me, letting our brothers and sisters know that it's life is worth living.
Yes.
And so thank your family for that, especially your spouse. They go through the roughest part of it. But last, brother, thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication to our country and actually the freedom of our country that we love.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you to you too.
Well, those of y'all watching, again, this is Daily Battles. Please like, share this. Let your veteran friends know. Anybody that is down in life, let them know. And I need some Navy veterans. I need some Air Force veterans, and I'll even take some Coasties too.
Coasties.
So, yeah, y'all share it. Thank y'all very much for watching. And again, this is Daily Battles.